How to source rent-to-rent deals. If you're brand new to this concept and you want to know how to go from the initial idea of rent-to-rent to collecting your first keys, this video is for you. I'm Simon, rent-to-rent specialist and mentor, and over the past years, I've built a 7-figure rent-to-rent business, and now I help people like you fast-track your journey to financial independence through property you don't own. All right. Now, in this video, I want to talk about how do you actually go from ground zero to the first deal? Well, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to get set up and compliant. And I've got loads of content on the channel on exactly how to do that. So I'm not going to cover that in this video. We're going to get straight into the meat and bones. And I'm also going to assume that in terms of market research, you know your area. I've got content on that too. So I just want to get straight stuck into the sourcing, all right? How do you actually get one of these properties under control? So there's two different ways or two different approaches to do this. The first is direct to the landlord. In other words, you need to find a landlord that will allow you to take on their property on a long-term agreement so that you can then rent the property on either a short-term basis, i.e. Airbnb, or on a room-by-room basis on the likes of spare room and open rent. Now, once you've got a landlord on board, as in the landlord likes the concept of being hands-off, of allowing you just to get on with it, of allowing you to legally sublet the property, then you are ready to close that deal. Now, the second way of doing this, and this builds more leverage, is that you can actually use letting agents. Yep, that's right, traditional letting agents have properties with landlords that are looking to rent them out. And rather than you go direct to landlord, you can actually go to the letting agent and say, hey, do you have any properties where the landlord is open to a long-term let, where the landlord doesn't want the hassle, where the landlord just wants to get on with it, or not get on with it, should I say. And that is a great way of sourcing those deals too. Now, that all sounds good, but I know what you're thinking. You're like, yeah, that sounds simple, but how do you actually go about this? And what do you say? How do you present the idea of rent to rent? Well, my top tip is keep it simple. All right. Just keep it super, super simple. Never use the terms rent to rent, Airbnb, HMO, nothing like that too soon. That will come later. All you want to do is you want to let landlords know that you can guarantee their rent for a long term and see if that is of interest. And if so, you layer up the negotiation nice and slowly. And if it's through letting agents, all you want to do is you want to be direct and ask them if they do company lets because you've got clients that you need to rehouse. Or there is the indirect approach where you can just secure the viewing, put an offer in, and then explain more about your business model. So I hope that's given you a little bit more insight into the process. Of course, I've got over 500 videos on this channel breaking down the nitty-gritty of how this stuff works in more detail. If that sounds good, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you follow, comment below, give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, okay, if you haven't already done so, make sure you go and get my book, Rent to Rent 2.0, The Art of Cash Flowing Property You Don't Own. Unbelievable value, #1 bestseller on Amazon, and you will love it. See you in the next video.